I think we're good. Aw. Aw. I was hoping that that would work. Aw. Man. Man. I was hoping that would work. I had a thing that I was gonna do. There was a joke that I wanted to do. Ah, well. It's fun. These are the things that happen from time to time, unfortunately. What are you gonna do? What I'm gonna do is welcome you in to the happiest of days. The Himawari is the happiest of the merchants. I am very happy to sell you on the merchandise that is my stream. We have many days that we are going to spend together today. Today is one of them. Yes, that's right. That is a nonsensical statement, but it's one that we've got here for you. Happy Touhou Tuesday. For once at a reasonable time of day, I have been taking care of familial issues. I know folks don't care about that stuff, but man, oh boy, it's been, fucking miserable. It's been great. You know, you gotta take care of some folks in declining health, and you get to be reminded of that. It's great. So let's get distracted from the horrors of my memory, and instead engage in Touhousday. Yes, Touhousday is one of those special kinds of the day. It is a very special day in that it is a day of relaxation, a day of joy, a day of violently oppressing the people of Gensokyo. When are you going to escape Amelia's mines? Spismato, I don't think we're ever going to escape her mines, because these mines just keep going. And it turns out, I am maybe not the best at video games. Now that said, we are slowly learning a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit the other. I was able to beat it with continues on Lunatic. Hey, Space Motto, I was able to beat it on Lunatic with continues. I just need to beat it on hard without continues now. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome in. It is Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse. Throwing the words bouncing in my skull at you because your power armor don't work. Hey! My power armor works, kind of. Oh, no! 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 The words are being thrown! But either way, yes, we are still stuck on EOSD. Yes, I have been stuck on EOSD for a year and a half now. Are we ever going to get past Embodiment of Scarlet Devil? Eastern Scarlet Devil Land? I don't believe so, but I can try. I can try. Has it really been a year and a half? Yes, it has been a year and a half. It has been a year and a half. It has been 18 months of this one game. 18 months of just trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing over and over and over again without any victory. Well, we have had a few victories. We just haven't had like a major victory. I mean, admittedly, we've been more reliable at getting to the stage right after Patchy, sort of. On the downside, I seem to be a little bit less responsive than I was. So we'll see if that's an issue with me breaking yet another controller while playing this game, or if it's just business. Right. Left. Right. It seems like it's just fine in terms of responsiveness. But yeah, it's been like 18 months, 19 months, something like that. And we're still stuck on this game. Now, admittedly, like I said, I've been able to beat it. I just haven't gotten the good ending. Any of the good endings. So we're going to try and do what we can to change that. Is today going to be a change day for that? Well, you're just gonna have to find out. Because definitely, with me being able to die on the first boss like that, almost instantly, that is a fantastic sign that we are definitely totally going to beat the game today. Don't worry if you don't want to see the game beaten. There's not going to be any spoilers because we're just going to be on the first level over and over again. I need to get my head back in the game. We need to try and get some things done here because today is going to be one of those days. One of what days? One of the days where I actually get things done, maybe, for once. Also, I've been forgetting to do my vocal warm-ups. So, I've realized that is why some people think that I sound dramatically drastically, crazily different than I used to. I've just been forgetting to do any sort of vocal warm-ups. So my voice is not nearly as low nor as high as it ought to be. And I should probably change that at some point, but we're not going to change that today. Because instead of doing my vocal warm-ups, I decided that today was going to be one of those days where I... Hold on. Uh-oh. We've lost the music, haven't we? Excuse me. Configuration. I have to leave that screen on somewhere in order for it not to glitch out. So you guys should be able to hear the music again. Alright, I believe we're good. Listen, I am not going to give up on this game because of simple things like not being good at it. Or being unable to finish it. We will keep playing this game, even if it takes like 5 or 6 years for me to actually be decent at it. Because there will always be more people willing to Touhou. You will Touhou the line with me. It'll be great. We will have every single song in this game burned into our brains, because we're treating this like I got treated back in the day. Mr. Touhou, the champion of Touhou, exactly. I'm going to become the Mr. Touhou. It's going to be great. We're actually going to change the entire channel into just Touhou. We're going to do 7 days a week of nothing but EOSD. And I know that everyone's going to be super excited about that. You're all super excited of the idea of the guy who can't beat the game playing the game forever. But yeah, no, I've been trying to figure out like what was wrong with my voice for a while. Because I do have a lot of range already, so you're going to have high pitch, you're going to have low pitch, you're going to have all those little bits and bobs. But I do genuinely think that it's actually just my lack of vocal warm-ups. I did have a lot of people who were accusing me of using a voice mod. And I'm going to be honest, why do you need voice mod if you have access to Reaper? Because you can do basically everything voice mod would want you to do, but you can do it that little bit better. I am getting better at grazing. Oh, thank you for grazing. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Slide it through. There we go. I need a bit of water. I should try, at one point, doing karaoke while I'm Touhouing, so we can try and see if I can do singing and Touhouing and not dying. Because I think that that would be long-term a fun experiment. There we go, slide it through. I'm getting better at a lot of it. I don't think we really usually die at all on this bit, which tells me I'm at least learning some patterns. I just need to learn more of them, right? And I also need to learn not to move as much, not to talk as much, not to be as much. But you know what? At the end of the day, isn't half the fun stumbling in the dark and stabbing your toe into literally every single wall that you run into? Let's see if I can actually warm up my voice just by doing this stuff. We're gonna make some little silly noises here real quick. I still can't dodge that correctly, but at least it works well enough on hard difficulty for me to not die. There's a lot of stuff where it's supposed to be that little, like, you guide it as you go, that I've not been too good at, and I haven't had reason to force myself to learn to be good at it. That said, if we brute force it enough, eventually, we will have a stack of little knowledges that have been burned in my brain, and some of them might actually be helpful. Because this whole shit, where I do this, like, figure 8 pattern, does not work, right? Okay, what do we got? There we go. Grab it all. Gonna slide everywhere we can. You know what? Cherno, have a bomb. I'm not gonna use it anywhere else. I'm just gonna use it on your face right now. Thank you. But yeah, it has been over 18 months since we started this journey. And I don't feel like I'm very much closer to finishing this journey. I feel like the only really thing that I've learned here is I've learned that you kind of have to stay as close as you comfortably can to the top of the screen to be able to do enough damage. I feel like that's about all that I've learned. I've also learned a couple of patterns. And I've learned to use bombs even less than I normally probably should. So you know what? I would call that a victory. By the way, how's the volume level on everything, chat? I have to ask this because I know folks don't tell you anymore. And I know sometimes things get way too loud or way too quiet. I believe we're doing proper. Let's see. MIDI levels seem to be fine right now. That's good. Vocal volume seems to be fine as well. Fantastic. I did recognize that we were doing some things wrong, so I have adjusted accordingly. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You know, I've realized that the compression levels that I'm using here, I have a compressor turned on, right? We haven't actually been using the compressor for most of this time. We've been doing a monitor bypass. And so everything I thought was compressor is not compressor. Also, apparently, yeah, there we go. Hi, how are you? So we've got ourselves a slight problem here, right? We have a slight problem in that, there's some setting difficulties that are going on right now, and I'm trying to get them fixed out. I'm trying to get them sounding just right. I believe we're good. Alright, so my compression level should be fun. You pick up a little bit too much background noise, but I think we'll be fine overall. I'm always trying to adjust things the best I can to try and make it so that we have the most lovely experience we can. So if I'm ever doing something wrong here, I know no one will, but you can feel free to point it out. I'm wondering if it's the position... So you're about here to get the actual pickups. I'm wondering if that's the ideal position for damage. I know I don't want to be near the bottom of the screen, because hugging the bottom of the hugging the bottom of the screen is a good way to just take forever to do things. Even if you get some of the damage reduction, you're not going to want to be there because you're going to want to try and kill them before they can get more stuff on screen. That is about the extent of what I have figured out as we have gone on here. I've also figured out that I need to learn how to spend bombs better. But that is neither here nor there. There we go. Come on. Good. Good! Nice, quick, and clean. You guys see how much cleaner everything is when you just slam your head into this stuff? I will gladly trade a single bomb for a 1-up. Thank you. Never forget, chat. Sometimes the best defense is to go on a mass murder spree of all of the enemies of Gensokyo. And sometimes you just have to be a bad enough samurai to be willing to destroy literally everything for the sake of your country. Ah! No! That wasn't a bomb, that was a pause menu! No! That wasn't a bomb at all! Well, alright, so I traded a bomb for nothing, in effect. But, hey, it's fine. Yeah, I probably could have survived that one, but you know what? We'll just keep going and we'll hope for the best. There we go. Try and just hug her. Try and hug her. You know what? No. No. Lady. Lady, I don't care. Shoot. Oh, you're awful. You're terrible. You're the worst ever. Your tea doesn't even taste that good, lady. You know what? No. We're just gonna bomb our way through it. I don't care. We're gonna bomb our way through it. I will get through this. I will kill you any way I have to just to get my way out of here. Nope. 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 Oh, wait, she goes down to 0, doesn't she? Oh, shoot. Oh, that's right. No. No, 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 no. I don't want to use 3 bombs on her. Okay. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't care. We'll use all our bombs. I don't care. This is a terrible run already, but you know what? I will be fine with it. Whoa! Do you know who ate all the donuts? Snap! Whoa! Okay, listen, lady. I really don't like the idea that I just used 4 bombs on you and like 3 lives, but at least I'm beyond you. Just fuck off. I hate her so much. Uh-oh. I have broken my mic stand. Hold on. Chat. I have broken a mic stand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hi. Mic positioning has moved. Let me try and fix that a bit. Excuse me. We're gonna try to fix a thing. I know it looks like the mic position should be fine because it's mounted on the lectern, but believe it or not, there's more than just the one mic. There's multiple mics, and some of them are positioned better than others. There we go. Now, with hope, I should be able... If I remember right, if we're up here... Like, the further up we are, the safer we tend to be, right? Or no? I'm gonna have to re-figure out everything I've already learned because, like an old dog, I need to learn new tricks. And by new tricks, I mean I need to learn how to use the existing tricks that are already right in front of me. There we go. Man, it feels like no matter what I learn, we've just gotta go in, grab her books, kick her ass, and then we'll... Go in, grab her books, kick her ass, and then... Alright, you know what? This is why no one likes you, Patchy. This is why literally nobody likes you. She's the least popular character in all of Touhou. I know... Fucking hell. That... Damn it. I don't... Okay. Yeah, no, I broke one of the buttons. Alright, this is fine. We're already getting to Himawari gets way too angry for his own good and blows shit up. We've got no lives. There is no way we make it through the entire rest of the game with 0 lives. I might as well restart now, but I have never been one to deny the sunk cost fallacy, so I feel like we should just keep digging. And, you know what? Let's get rid of these bombs, too. We don't need any of those. As you all know, bombs are simply a crutch, like lives, and I am most definitively not incredibly pissed off to the point that I want to break something. Nope, nope, see, that was just a test run. It's fine. Alright, boys. Let's go back and try again. And maybe this time, I can have things work the way I want them to. What's that? I can't. Oh. If you ever want an example of what I mean. So look how fast we can actually just wipe out the entire line there. If we're going at this sort of like top 3/4? Or, yeah, no, top 4th. Like the top 4th to the top 1/3 of the screen. Makes all of the murder faster. So you kind of want to like do dive bombing almost. But it also seems like I kind of want to do sit and survive, where I do the barest minimum amount of movements. But I also don't understand how to do that properly. And also there's some random number generation as well against me, but... I need a punching bag right here by the stream, because I'm going to snap a controller over my knee one of these days. I am going to fucking snap a controller over my knee one of these damn days. Holy shit. I am just going to fucking break a controller over my knees. I am going to just destroy everything, and I'm going to just get so fucking pissed off. Holy shit. I am so fucking done. I'm gonna snap a controller over my knee. You most definitely can win with 0 lives left. How you're gonna have spare lives unless you don't die. If you don't die, you don't need your spare lives. Correct. This is true. However, I'm not going to win if I'm incredibly pissed off and I break the game over my knee. Because that might happen as well. That could happen as well, right? Now, boy, I love everything, chat. I love everything. You know, I go out there and I play my games and I hang out, right? And there's this beautiful little game. It's called Touhou, right? And I love playing Touhou, but I also get pissed off, you know? I get pissed off and then I just go, man, everything sucks. Everything's fucked. I love how I'm already pissed off to the point where I want to smash things over my fucking knee. That honestly, that is probably the craziest part of all of this, right? That is probably, honestly, the single worst part of this. Alright. Man. You'll beat the game just physically. I'm about, like, okay, so I went with the really heavy-duty Mayflash controller that's got, like, a proper steel case. Okay, that's plastic. The top, it was supposed to be steel. Oh, wait, no, that's the lock gate. That bit's metal. Okay, so part of it's metal and a lot of it's plastic. Well, anyway, that bit's metal. And that bit has to be metal because I smash these things over my knee all the time. I'm an angry little dude sometimes, alright? I like to smack things. What do you mean? Okay, why the fuck are you... It's not... Why the fuck is my firewall doing this? Okay, cool. There's no reason you need to send every single EXE. Especially ones I compile myself. Hello, welcome back to Touhou. It's time for us to go-ho into Touhou. Don't worry. I'm only gonna cry a little bit. We're also now playing the version that doesn't have the actual little dot in the middle. So I can stop focusing it on it so much. Wake me up when the Touhou ends. Wake me up before you Touhou. There we go, ho. It's Touhou. There we go, ho. Yo-ho! Touhou, yo-ho! There we go. I feel like playing it this way without the actual hitbox mod now. I've taken off my training wheels, therefore I can make the game harder. Don't worry, chat. Now that I don't have the training wheels, I'm going to do so much better, right? I have obviously memorized exactly where her hitbox is. Yep. I did not mean to do that, but you know what? We're fine. What is life without a little bit of bomb spam early on, just to make sure that we get rid of some of those crutches? I mean, at the end of the day, right? Life is about more than taking things the safe way. Life is about failing to use 2 of your bombs and feeling like a complete failure for the rest of the run. Hold on. Yes! I'm gonna use that bomb. So how you folks doing, by the way? I've seen a lot of stuff going on recently in terms of new game releases. People are saying that we're entering back into a golden age of gaming. We've got, like, that new RPG that's supposed to be coming out where you fight giant snails or something, and you actually play a male character, and for some reason people think that it's a legendary return to form that you can just play a dude, and you don't have, like, custom character customization, and, like, 5 gay romance things. New games, I'm not paying attention to that stuff. I've been paying attention to a fair bit of it, because there's, like... everybody's trying to make everything culture war. I say everybody, but a lot of people seem to be trying to make everything culture war. However, I have been seeing a lot of like, hey, here's a game where our entire marketing plan is, we're just gonna make a game, and we're hoping you'll enjoy the video game, and we're not going to play modern politics, we're just gonna make game that we want to make. That's been very interesting to see. It's been very interesting to see. Of course, I also watch the political things, but I don't enjoy necessarily talking about the political things. I've been thinking for a while that it might be a not terrible idea to make like a side thing for that, but I already piss enough people off just by being me. I don't think I need to like self-isolate my stuff and then become a PNG skeptic tuber or whatever the hell it is. You guys remember when everybody was doing that for a bit? Like, they had the little PNGs of themselves in the corner, and they do, like, little news reporting and whatnot. Like, you had Sargon of Akkad, Remaining TV before you started doing the little troll icon. Had, what was it? AA? Yeah, I remember him. Tinfoil hat add-on for the Hema skin. Yeah, I set up a side channel where I always wear the tinfoil hat. Oh, we're at full power already. Oh, nice. Alright, let's just not mess that up. Bear, 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 bear. You good? My main focus should always be on taking care of this. Does the PNGification add soul or subtract soul? Well, okay. I like to think of it as the following. The difference between whether your PNG has soul or has no soul is if your PNG is made with soul, right? Because if you have a PNG that's made with the soul, it'll always have more soul than a live 2D model that has no soul, or a 3D model that has no soul, right? The difference is, with a 2D model, right? You put more of that onto the model and onto, let me see here. So the PNG is all about the PNG, right? And then you have yourself behind it, who's having to work on the voice. The Live 2D has the aspect of, now you're adding some movement, so you have to kind of like get your head patterns a little bit right, but it's still mostly focused on voice. And the design itself can really attract people in, because people see the image. Let's be fair, the image on your thumbnail is usually just a PNG of your model, right? And then people see the model as a billboard and they bring it in, right? 3D, it's no longer just about your voice, it's no longer just about the model. It's now your model, your voice, your body movements. You have to figure out like how stiff you're making the model rigging, how much of a one-to-one you want. Are you talking upper body, lower body, full body? Like, I've had to deal with a lot of like these conversations back in the day. Man, I keep hitting pause instead of bomb. Okay, let's restart anyway. We'll restart there just so I can get that proper. I do think that there is, like, you can have a very soulful PNG, right? You can have a very soulless PNG. You can have a very soulful live 2D, a very soulless. And also, you can have, with some of the technology that's in use right now, in terms of, like, the 3D modeling structure, right? There's the instant switching that you can do, where you can have, like, 3, 4, or 6 models that are layered in such a way that you're swapping between them. And if you have the processing power to do it, you can have a model that looks like a 2D model, and the human eye really doesn't tell that it's not a 2D model. And then you can have it so that, in effect, every angle the camera is seeing your model from gets a different model that is being seen from it. And you tweak that model to look absolutely best from the fixed set of limited angles. And by doing it that methodology, you can actually get yourself into a far better position to be able to have the most soul and the most, sort of like good results for it. If I was able to do the PNGs myself, if I was able to do the live 2D stuff myself, what I would legitimately do is I would actually do the same sort of 3D situation, right? Where you have the 3D model and you have the swaps out. And I would just do a live 2D series of swaps where I have it instant swap between the different live 2D bits in the same way that we do the 3D model, so that you have a live 2D model that looks like it's made of 3D. Because that's, at the end of the day, there is some things to be said about having the hardcore 2D, and there's some things to be said about using a series of filters in order to make the 3D into 2D. In my perfect world, I would love to do, like, hand-drawn animations and just hand-draw every angle, every facial expression, have a series of toggles on it, and effectively have the motion capture slowly show you each of these bits. Not do the actual, like, expansion. Hello, Yuki! How are you? Welcome in! I hope you're having a wonderful day! Because I think, like, long-term, right? If you put enough passion into something, like genuine, proper passion into learning something, you can overcome a lot of the innate talent, and the talent that you do have can be put more on display. Someone with all the talent in the world and no training at all will have problems in a different way than someone who has all the training in the world and no talent. There's, like, swings and roundabouts, and there are ways you can somewhat equalize it. Somebody with all the training in the world and all the talent in the world is going to be better than the person who has all the training in the world and none of the talent. And somebody with all the training in the world and none of the talent, I would say, to a degree, is going to be better than someone with all of the talent in the world and no training at all. But the ceiling's still going to be different, right? I didn't think it got that complicated. Well, there are different ways that you could do complicated, right? So, like, one of the examples that we used back in the day, when I was helping one of my buddies work on this was pre-VTubing, right? Pre-VTubing, but post, like, face rig era. We actually had a setup that we were utilizing where you had the 3D body, right? Being a little naughty, not supposed to be on my phone because I'm moving house. Well, hey, you respect the rules of moving house. And I look forward to seeing you back here again at a later point. It'll be nice. But one of the things that I've always said with this stuff, right? Sorry, brain. I'm having two different conversations here. I'm getting distracted. So one of the things that we used to do was we set up a 3D base model for the body. I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. I'm willing to do loops. It'll be fine. We'll loop over and over again and hope for the best. Maybe some people are here who weren't here for the last loop. So one of the things that I used to work on with one of my buddies was we would have, one of us did the 2D modeling and the other did the 3D modeling. And if you took the 2D head, so the actual head was a series of 2D models that we floated in front of a 3D body, and you would take the 3D body and you'd be able to, like, put your clothes on it, put props on it, and then you'd have the 2D head, which would be a series of two-dimensional layers that would be invisible from certain culling angles. And so it was, again, like the 3D model, where you have to load it in, load it out, load it in, load it out. But instead of doing that, you have a 2D layered system where you just can't see the 3D model from certain angles. And you're not doing, like, as much of, like, the stretching and what have you. You're literally doing, like, replacements and animated textures on the 3D model as well. But by layering these things inside of itself, you're able to get a more realistic 2D looking setup than you would get with a traditional 3D model. Now, there are ways with shaders now, with a bunch of this business where you can get good enough 2D that the average person probably won't be able to tell that it's actually a 3D model. But I still think one of the best ways to do that, and apparently I've been told, that whole, like, it's a 3D model that's made up of a series of 2D models that are layered in different directions, is somewhat similar to how modern live 2D operates. Which is interesting to look into. Ah, damn it. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna... Well, because if I move it, right? Alright, I'm gonna move from here to here. Nope, not replay. Not replay. I'm gonna actually move my buttons from here to here. That way I stop trying as much to hit there. Key config. We're gonna have shot here. We're gonna move it over to 4. That way I'm not stretching my hand as much and I've got a more neutral resting position. There we go. This should theoretically make things a little bit better, so I'm not trying as much. There we go. That'll feel better. My thumb was stretching just a tiny bit too much. You can do like a proto-live 2D model? I wonder how much it opens up what's possible and what's not. What it opens up is that it makes your clothing creation far easier. I will always stand by the fact that it is easier for a modification of the 3D to fit in with the model than a recreation of the 2D to fit in with the model, unless you are a highly skilled 2D artist. For me personally, right? If I can get a 2D artist to make the face, if I can make a 2D artist to make the neck and the basic stuff, I can do a lot of the modeling work myself, right? Because I've done 3D modeling. I've done a lot of 3D modeling, actually. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I've done a lot of it. Remember, chat, just because you've done a lot of things doesn't mean that you're good at it. But in my particular case, it just means that I've done this a lot, and I've gotten paid for it before, right? And so I know that it's a lot easier for me to hop into my Blender, swap bits on my model, staple them on, pull them off, and have them just work out the box. Because the one thing I'll say with Live 2D, and with the 2D setups that we have now, while yes, you can drag and drop them, there's some issues with like layer placement, there's some other issues that just don't necessarily wrap well with my mind in terms of rapid fire, acquisition, and go. And also with a 3D model, you have a lot. Yes, you can use PNGs, but the PNGs will look like shit. Because if you don't have it at the exact right angle, if you don't have it with the right mounting, considering Live 2D uses triangles, I suspect linear algebraic shenanigans of projecting a 2D sprite onto a 3D surface mesh. Ooh, yeah. But one of the things that I would say personally is that you can find a lot more pre-made assets for 3D that will look good out of the box or with minimal retexture work. I can shove a few filters on a 3D prop that I can grab online for free from a 3D printing site or from almost any site, shove it onto a 3D model with a Live 2D head, and it'll look better than the guys who spend the thousands of dollars getting the new Live 2D outfits and whatnot. One of the things that I miss of my old Vroid model, yes, Vroid doesn't have a whole bunch of soul. You have to do a lot to it to get it to actually feel right. But once you get that thing tweaked out, and you have a solid base, I was able to add like RoboCop elements, I was able to add like hats on the fly. You can make anything you want, add it on, and again, because you're using just the 3D models, there's going to be different usage rights. Say whatever you want about the people who are just using the 3D models. The Live 2D people think that they have way too much ownership over the models that they're selling to other people. Do you guys know how many contracts there are with Live 2D models that say you can't do political, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other? Yes, shove a Live 2D face mask onto a 3D model is one of like the best ways I can think of doing that shit. Because again, you have the face. People see that stuff. They want that stuff. It's good. If you do your layering correctly, if you do your like multi-steps correctly, you're able to get far better variety of props on your model. You're able to change things on the fly. If I'm using a 3D model, right? And I have it set up so that, again, I get a professional artist to do the actual 2D face. I don't have to spend a fucking penny, and I don't have to worry about most of this bullshit where they sell you the damn thing for $5 grand, $6 grand, $7 grand, and then give you a bunch of like, you can't use this for this type of stream, this kind of stream, this kind of stream. Because if you grab those models, you can just take it with a license that says, I can use this for anything I want, because you just uploaded it online. Seems like market price isn't exactly market effort or even range topic-wise, considering contract restraints. Well, the thing is, so many of this shit, right? Like, why do you think so many people are doing the whole, like, customizable generic character? It's not so they can give you something for free. It's not so they can be a nice guy. It's so they can have a stranglehold on what you can do as a streamer. Now, whether that's left-wingers, right-wingers, whatever, you don't want someone to have a stranglehold on what you can do. So ideally, you want to get your contract negotiations proper so you can do whatever the fuck you want with your model, right? And a lot of these people, though, again, like some of these models for Live 2D are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $12,000, $5,000. And I'll tell you right now, you spend the exact same amount on a 3D modeler, you're going to be spending a hell of a lot less money, right? So if you can figure out a way to actually do it properly, one of the best things to do, get your hyper-quality, highly competent face modeler to build the face, get the blend shapes, get that stuff ready to go, bing, bang, boom. Get them out the door so it looks really, really good, 2D head, have a good-looking 3D body that you're just using some basic sort of layers on top of. Or hell, hey, if you're already spending 10 grand, let me tell you, you can get AAA Hollywood-level creators to build a single model for you for less than the price of some of these Live 2D artists. Yes, a lot of the Live 2D artists on the higher end of this stuff, like the 7 grand, the 10 grand, the 12 grand, that kind of stuff, that is a lot of hard effort that they are putting in. I am not sitting here mocking their work. I'm not sitting here saying their work is not worth it. Yes, if you can afford it, it is really fucking good, right? The amount of effort that goes in, the amount of stylation, the little elements that go here and there with the limitations of what it is, these people are most of the time very much worth it. There are a few of them who are just existing on name recognition alone, or they're just existing on the fact that they have done a lot of contracts before. Those people will exist in any industry. The one thing I am saying is if you want the best value for your money, what you're going to want to do is go towards 3D modeling because there's more people in the industry who know how to do 3D modeling, and there's less of a VTuber tax. A lot of the VTubing stuff has a markup of about 60%, I would say. Like 40 to 60% of what it should be. Because the moment somebody says a VTuber, they understand that there's a lot of money that is being thrown on the table, and there's also a lot of hatred towards VTubers within the perspectives of these people who are even making the VTubing stuff. There are a lot of people who have gotten into VTuber modeling, Live 2D modeling, modeling in general, who hate the concept of a VTuber. But the good thing about 3D models is you don't have to tell them that it's for a VTuber. You don't have to work with them on this. You get your contract properly, you get your contract to go, you talk with these people, you get your basic stuff, you can get a really high quality VR chat model, very, very high quality, for less than you'll get that high-end VTuber model, and you'll have a much more respectable contract, and you'll have more people, on average, who will be respecting you as a creator. So depending on the kind of content you want to make, will also depend on whether you want to do Live 2D or 3D. And a PNG tuber can be very, very professionally done. If you're willing to do a lot of code and mathematics, you can make a 2D PNG tuber model that works about as well as the actual proper Live 2D model, right? Now that'll require a lot of toggles, it'll require a lot of mathematics, you'll have to find interfaces for these things. You're putting a lot of work in, but it's a different style of work that'll get you different style of results. Basically, depending on what you have access to as a creator, depends on what you're going to want to do, right? What are you going to want to do? Are you somebody who's really fucking good at mathematics? Well, maybe you want to do 3D modeling. Or 2D modeling, honestly, because let's be honest, a lot of this stuff, when it comes to computers recreating images, it's trigonometry. It's trigonometry, geometry, algebra, like your basic sort of high-end mathematics. And you can figure out how to do a lot of this stuff because a lot of the actual creation on graphical systems is not actually artistry. We've gotten to a point where a lot of this stuff can be redone to make it so that there's a better interface between artist and machine, but you can do a lot of the stuff the artist can do with mathematics. That's part of why AI is as good as it is at making art, because, believe it or not, the thing that AI is good at is not the replication of human emotions, it's not the understanding of anything. Artificial intelligence, or actual Indians depending on what we want to call it, the system of AI is a system in which a mathematical formula decides the optimal equation for a result you're looking for. And if you have a system that is designed from its core around the idea of mathematical equations, because
AI does not view a conversation as a conversation. It is a series of if-and statements. It is a series of mechanical answers that has a series of ors as well, right? When it makes a piece of art, it's doing mathematical formulas that are identifying patterns, identifying these elements, building it forth into a position that it can build out a more stable end result that looks good to a person. Yeah, they can replicate patterns. Well, they can even modify patterns, but at the end of the day, they're trying to get the mathematical formula that you want, right? Computers are a lot of math. Math that it's at its extreme core, at the dead center of itself, is 0, 1. Everything at its absolute core, which is again why I recommend if people are learning coding. I don't care if it's up to date. I don't care if you'll ever actually use it. Learning some of the older analog systems, learning some of the stuff that's not in use, can very much help you understand the stuff that is in use. Because at its core, machinery, unless we get into the base 3 systems that they're trying to push out with their whole quote-unquote quantum computing, it is a 1 or a 0 stacked together. It is a base 2 system, and everything is being translated layer by layer by layer until we get back to mathematics. And at the end of the day, all of these things... Okay, if this fucker... Fuck off! No! Really? I say no. I say I'm getting ready to stream. They start bothering me. The last few weeks, every time I get free, like I enjoy hanging out with these people, right? Good friend of mine, right? I understand why he's getting in touch. It's making sure I'm not going crazy or anything. But every single time I go to try and stream, every single time, this bastard wants to call instead and talk for 4, 5, 6 hours. And by the time we're done talking, yeah, we have a fun time chatting, but I don't want to go streaming. Or he's like interrupting my damn thought process, and I appreciate it. I really do. It's always fantastic to have people who are willing to talk with you and hang out with you. But when my brain's on a roll, and I'm getting these things done, and it gets interrupted by, hey, here's a phone call. And when the thing does not actually properly turn on streamer mode, and so I've got to hear the ringing anyway, completely distracts me. So what I was saying was, whether we're talking PNG Tuber, whether we're talking live 2D, whether we're talking 3D, at the end result, you are dealing with a mathematical interpretation, right? How you best interface with that interpretation, how best the people you're working with interpret it, is going to be more important than what the thing itself is. You can make a PNG Tuber model into effectively a live 2D model. You can use a series of pre-animated GIFs and stack them in such a way that the average person won't be able to tell that it is not an actual model. It might look a little stiffer than normal, you might have some issues, it might cost you a fuck ton of money to get it done exactly right. You can do a 3D model, and that'll be a series of triangles. You can do a 2D model, like an actual 2D model. You could do video files. You could even do pre-recorded full motion video, right? And have a series of triggers. Depending on what your coding experience is, depending on what you have access to, the experience levels of the people that you're dealing with, there's different formulas that you can use, different ways you can get the exact same sort of result. It'll just vary, and there will always be those little tiny bits that'll give that subconscious level of understanding, or lack thereof, that'll make it slightly different. The biggest question is, what is the most important to you? What are you looking for? And for a lot of people, all they really need is a decent enough 3D model or a decent enough 2D model, and they're good to go, right? Personally, fuck, I keep going left. Why do I keep going left? Hold on. Hold on. Why do I keep going left? Why is my initial result to go left? I want to go here. I don't want to go here. Well, let's see. Alright, how about key config. No. No, no. You're there. Pause will go there. Let's see if that works. That way I can do the... Okay. But like, what are you good at? What are the people you're working with good at? How are these people working in general, right? Hello, JK, how you doing? You just missed a lovely in-depth conversation on my personal feelings on live 2D, PNG, and whatnot. Now, admittedly, there are a lot of people who will use PNG as a nice little, like, just easy, get one image drawn and go, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Grumpy, one of the buddies I hang out with from time to time, does a basic PNG tuber model where it's just got the activate and the deactivate, which is fine. A brown man has entered the chat. Hey! A brown man has entered Lego City. Get the Lego riot van and arrest him immediately. Stomp on his neck with the new Lego boot. Hey! Only you can save Lego City from lowering property values. Man, those commercials got different than I remember them being. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so if my muscle memory is telling me to move left for these buttons, there we go, there we go. Good, good. See if we can handle that. Good, good. But yeah, no, what I'm saying at the end of the day is that a lot of this setup here, a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of window dressing, and some things are going to be more difficult than others, but if you're able to work these things through, and you're able to figure out the way that's best for you, you're going to get to a result that is good for you. A lot of the times, you shouldn't just be sitting there delving into, like, what is the best of the best of the best for everybody, because what's best for everybody isn't always going to be what's best for you. You need to do what's best for you. A man's got to do what is best. I ain't found nothing better so far. And a lot of times, honestly, what is actually best? Well, what gets the best results? A system is only as good as its results. If the results are, for example, cannibalism, maybe you need a different system. Results are more important than the actual method itself. And you have to weigh your short-term results with your long-term results. Most figures come with Kung Fu grip. I come with real reaching for something while resisting action. Holy shit! I want to get that now! At some point, a hyper-expensive Live 2D is the same feeling as people dumping 20 grand on fursuits. Beyond a certain threshold, it doesn't add more to the content. It's almost like a self-identity thing. Well, I mean, that can be true. Our sponsor. This message brought to you by our sponsors, thedragonstreasure.com, where you can use code Kotetsu at checkout for 10% off your order. That's thedragonstreasure.com/Kotetsu at checkout. Remember, there's more than just tea at the Dragon's Treasure. You can ice your tea at the Dragon's Treasure. Dragon's Treasure. Buy tea. Buy tea. Code Kotetsu. Dragon's Treasure. Buy. Buy tea. Did you know that you can theoretically smoke tea, chat? They make tea cigarettes. They make tea cigarettes. Can you smoke tea? Yes. They make tea cigarettes. That's actually a thing that they use in a lot of, like, stage performances. Circle. I wonder if I can do this without bombs. Probably eventually, right? But yeah, there is a degree to which the more expensive stuff can be good, because you can get more of the, like, fluid motions and whatnot. You're paying for more of, like, the little bits and bobs here and there. Sometimes it's like a Prada handbag, though. I'd say a lot of times it's less that these people use it as a fursuit. It's more that some of these people will use it as a Lamborghini, they'll use it as a Bugatti, they'll use it as a signal that they have money, that they're successful, even if they're not, which is why you have some of these people who are taking out loans for the $20,000 model and then going bankrupt. I think I forgot something either important or funny. Chinese red tea, which is a smoked tea in how you smoke food, and it's gross as hell. Well, here's a benefit you might not be thinking about. It can also give you lung cancer. Come on, don't you want lung cancer? Don't you want, like, a buildup of chemicals in your lungs? Okay, really? Now we're having the exact opposite problem, chat. Now we're having the exact opposite program, chat. As soon as I fix it on one side, I'm going to the other side. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold the line, hold the line. Hello, Chirano. Chirano, Chirano, Chirano! Baka! Baka na! Baka, yamero! Ah! I'm not like all you, I'm not like other smokers. If you tell me you're not like other smokers, I'm immediately gonna think you're exactly like other smokers. You're just like other smokers, but you want to say that you're different. Okay, really? Alright, we're having some problems. When to go for no model at all? If you're not going for any model, you're not a VTuber. Then again, a PNG tuber is also not a VTuber. Because if it's just a PNG, you're missing like half the core of it. It is a PNG tuber. You can get it modified to the point where it might as well be a PNG, where it might as well be a VTuber. But like if it's just the bouncing image, that's not quite a VTuber, but that's not a bad thing, right? There's also the fact that, so sometimes it's just the classic women with 500 shoes situation. Yes, a lot of times it is. Are you kidding me? The vast majority of the time it is. Are you kidding me? Wait. Hold on. I have an idea, chat. What if I'm being stupid? Chat, what if I'm just being stupid? There we go, there we go. What's that Himawari being stupid? That's never happened before, that's not possible. What was that like? There's a commercial where they have the they have the cigarette smoker who's got the little, like, throat thing, but she's, like, singing a song about how good it is to smoke. While she has, like, the hole in her throat, and she's got the little thing there, and she's on oxygen. And she sings, like, the whole song about how good it is to smoke. What was that commercial? I remember that, because they were trying to, like, talk about how bad cigarettes were. And so they had this woman who's, like, clearly in pain, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna have you sing about how much you love cigarettes. And I remember sitting there thinking that that was just one of the most cruel things that I had seen on a commercial, and then immediately going out and getting a pack of smokes. Damn it. Oh, I don't have. Yoink, 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 yoink. But they were making her sing about how much she loved to smoke for the commercial, so therefore it's for a good cause, right? Did smoking used to be that bad initially, like in the golden age of TV cigar ads, or did it get deliberately worse? People didn't know it was really that bad. You know the show Peaky Blinders? The guy who played Thomas Shelby smoked herbal cigarettes that were made of tea leaves and rose petals because his only option was the real ones. Ended up smoking, I think, in the realm of 18,000 of them. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. You know, chat, we're doing surprisingly well considering I don't have access to bombs. Like, not really have access to bombs, but I feel like having a faster access to being able to slow myself down and then speed up is way better than having access to bombs. But I do kind of wish I just had, like, a button on the top of my joystick that I could press for bombs. Wait, chat!
Yes, you can smoke tea, and a lot of it, just like TV. Actually.
Yeah, no, smoking... Okay, so, like, there was a time when they started putting, like, rat poison and other nonsense into cigarettes. There was a time as well where you had, like, there was gaspers, there's filtered cigarettes, there's unfiltered cigarettes, there's pure tobacco cigarettes, there's filler. Like, there are certain kinds of cigarettes that are better for you than others, right? At the end of the day, smoking anything is not good because it'll still put some form of tar in your lungs, right? It'll still put, like, a tar in your lungs, but... I mean, like, I do think to a degree... There's also a measure of, no matter what you're looking at historically, it's really easy to lie through statistics. That's why you should never believe fucking statistics when you read them, because statistics are one of the easiest things in the world to fake, right? When you have sample sizes that are like 50, 60 people. All right, that's it. You know what? Don't they have trigger and 2 buttons on the top? Yes, they do. Chat, I'm breaking out the flight stick. Give me a second here. I'm gonna wander off to the side of the screen. Give me a second. I'm gonna wander off to the side of the screen here, and I'm just gonna go grab something real quick. Hold on. Excuse me, Papa Kotetsu's going out for smokes. He'll be right back. I'm going out to grab some, hey, does anybody want a lottery ticket or some milk while I'm gone? You guys want, like, lottery ticket, milk, anything? I'll be right back. Boo, boo, doo, 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 doo. Pineapple! Ah! Why is it as soon as I go off screen? Can you stop falling? Stumbling all around, stumbling all around, stumbling all around, my honey. Stumbling here and there, so I must declare, absolutely everywhere. I fell down on my toes, and then right on her nose, and then I rose, saying, that's the latest step, that's the latest step, that's the latest step, my honey. There we go. All right, boys. Let's try it. Fuck it. Chat. It is time. It is time to try a different controller. Whoa. Excuse me. Whoa. What have I done? What have I done? Hold on. This is fine. Okay, I fixed it, I think. Oh. Okay, this goes over here. Excuse me. All right. All right, so I have a flight stick installed now. Excuse me, hold on. I gotta spin a thing. There we go. Flight stick enabled.
User death imminent. Vital signs critical. Your face looks dumb.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Fun fact, pineapple is one of the few things that can help get rid of the tar buildup. So if you have a lot of tar on your lungs, make sure you have pineapples. We all like pineapples a lot, but pineapples are very delicious. And they're also nutritionalist.
Well, you either die of pneumonia at 30 or cancer at 60. I wonder if back then smoking actually... Well, okay, so smoking was often used as a remedy for water on the lungs. One of my buddies, his grandfather, had a prescription for a pack of cigarettes a day in order to help deal with his pneumonia. And the water on the lungs. All right, so this flight stick has 3 buttons on top. I'm gonna try. We're gonna see if we can fly with this flight stick. And worst case scenario, we will not be able to fly with this flight stick, and I will cry. I believe we've tried this before, and it wasn't a good idea. However...
Boss, has anyone told you that your
Aww.
smile helps brighten tired day?
Well, thank you.
Because it does make me better.
All right, boys. Let me see here. All right, options. Options? Uh-oh. Whoopsies. Key config. All right. All right. So the problem with this one A prescription for a pack a day. Now ain't that something? Alright, chat. We're gonna try this. Alright? So I've got my shot down there. My slow down there. My bomb down there. This is definitely... There we go. Wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, that one will work. Okay, let's find out. Excuse me, chat. Let's find out. Can I play this? Alright, boys. Let's go! Oh boy. That is much less smooth. Oh boy. Well, that'll slow me down at least. Okay, this is maybe not the worst idea I've ever had, right? I have to move it very far. Oh, what was that? What was that? Alright, hold on. We're using a flight stick. What idea have you had this time? I'm using a flight stick. So we can have top Cheerno. It turns out it's a bad idea, actually. Turns out, it's awful. Oh, it's awful. Oh boy. Come on! Well, if you wanted to move more slowly and sluggishly, this has got you covered. Because it's... Boy. You have to, like, slam yourself in there. My idea was to use this, and, well, you can't see it, but it's off screen. I believe... Hold on. I believe... Shoot. Okay. We're not doing that. Chat. That was very much an idea that could have been good. You know what I mean? That could have been good. Hold on, chat. I have another idea. Alright, chat. I have another idea. Chat, I have another idea. Alright? Hold on. Yeah, you guys know the Nintendo 64, right? You guys know the Nintendo 64, right? Okay. So what if... Hear me out. Hear me out. Alright? Nintendo 64 is cool, right? Okay, I've got an idea. Hold on. Hold on. Ah, damn it. We're gonna keep going until I find the... Alright, so that'll be the shot button. Alright. That'll be slow. Right trigger does not work. Oh wait, no, right trigger works. So we use that for slow when I need to. And we use that for bomb. Yes, I'm a genius, chat! Hold on. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Wait, I could do a HOTAS? Wait, chat, I could use my HOTAS. That could be a good idea. Hold on. Excuse me, let me just, hold on. I'm gonna try this one now. I'm bringing back the N64. Alright, so we're having some minor issues in that, the control stick on my N64 is kind of shit. It's not really doing the accuracy that I need it to, but... Sometimes when I go down, It's going up and to the right. The Wenchiite. No, Hotas. Hand on throttle and stick. Hotas. I am such a genius. Turns out, Touhou was meant for the N64 controller, chat. Did you guys know that? Turns out Touhou would have been a fantastic N64 game. These are the things like we never really thought about. These are things that I never considered the fact that maybe, just maybe, the N64 might be the optimal way to play Touhou. Holy shit. This actually feels really nice. This actually feels really, really nice. If the actual, like, joystick was a little more responsive, this would be the ideal way to play, because it has a trigger right underneath your pointer finger, right? And I'm just holding down the trigger as I fly. Like, other than the, like, slight inaccuracy with it, this is actually really nice. Will you make an EOSD for N64? I mean, I might, considering how nice this is right now. The only problems I will say is that the response lag on this particular conversion kit does not make it particularly nice, and the accuracy is very lacking. Yeah, the accuracy is lacking, but honestly, the actual controller feel on this N64 style of controller seems to have been purpose-built for Touhou. And I feel weird saying that. This is the most comfortable way to play it so far. Like, if I could get the accuracy of my actual... I probably could. Because if you just did, like, a casing for the... Ooh. Chat, I'm having bad ideas that involve butchering a very nice fight stick and resoldering some components. Chat, I'm having some bad ideas. I am having some bad ideas. They are maybe not good concepts. However, I'm starting to feel like... we're suddenly having things possible now that weren't before. I feel like if you had just a little bit more accuracy on the controller. So if I go over to Mouser, right? If I go over to Mouser and then I grab the... They should have an actual, like, control switch for industrial application. I could make a controller, right? I could make a controller, 3D print an N64 style controller with only the buttons required for Touhou. I could get some of the military grade... military grade is not usually, like, the best thing ever, right? But there are some parts that are high-end industrial corporate grade that are sometimes used for military applications that I can get access to. And I was thinking, if I get a few boards, right? And I just basically make my own custom controller, I could make a specific dedicated Touhou controller inspired off the N64 that is basically just a control stick with multi-positional... Yeah. With the multi-positional, get as much accuracy as I possibly can on it, do the mechanical style switches instead of the analog switches, get the really, really nice buttons, right? And I could build the ultimate controller for Touhou, for my personal playing style. Because really, you kinda just... If you steal the N64 style, but you put higher quality, higher accuracy parts in it, right? I could even have a little bit of the clicky sound to it. We could do an 8-point hat on the middle. Have a single trigger that you can hold down for the shoot, right? You just need bomb button, slow button, skip button on these early ones. Ooh, a Wiimote. Ooh, I do have Wiimotes. Could do a Wiimote, yeah. Yeah. I feel like a Wiimote would make it too easy, though. Unless you figured out... Yeah, because if you're just using, like... Well, if you do the Wiimote with the nunchaku, that can work as well. Like, maybe the nunchuck more than the... Yeah, no. Yeah, because the nunchuck would be more useful than the Wii itself. I feel like these are things that should have been tried. Like, honestly, If they haven't been, I feel like they should, because this feels really... Like, as much as I do like the arcade stick more, in terms of the movement, but the controller button positioning on here feels so much more satisfying. Yeah, no, I'm definitely doing worse. I'm objectively doing worse, right? However, I feel better doing worse. Does that make sense? Like, I feel better while I'm doing worse, and I'm not sure that that's a thing that should be happening. This is objectively, just from my experience so far, a worse way to play, but man, it feels comfy. And if I could just fix the damn response on the actual stick here, because this is the problem here is that I'm using a very old, improperly cleaned N64 interface, right? So that's going to cause some level of issue. If I could get the responsiveness, of this thing, right, into the layout of this, which I can, I would just have to tear it apart. I'm not sure I want to tear apart a really nice controller just to be able to have my button on the stick. Because the problem is, right, the actual stick on this thing that you heard me sit down, the actual stick is best on this thing. This thing is the best way I have ever played Touhou, right? In terms of actual, like, movement around, being able to do my rapid-fire reactions, this thing, phenomenal. In terms of actual button placement, I really prefer having a button, you know? I really, really, really prefer having, like, an actual, like, if I could have a smaller version of the arcade stick mounted on the middle of a longer prong in the center, and then you have your thumb there so you can do the spin around, you can do your little, like, slide bit, you can do your shooting on there, and then I can have the stuff over here. Actually, if I just had an auto shot, how many inputs do you need? Skip, shoot, directional pads, slow, bomb. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. It's like a 4-button game. Like, I also could break out the NES controller as well. The SNES controller? The SNES controller would be probably a little bit better for that. Because then I could still have the... But then you're not going to have the positioning correctly for... Because I feel like... I genuinely feel like the N64 has the best hand feel for this style of thing. There is a slow button. Yes, there's a slow button. I use it all the time. It's a focus button. That's what I've been using. Because otherwise I just, like, jettison across the screen. The only bad idea is the idea that doesn't work. Remember, kids, the difference between stupidity and bravery is, did it get you killed? Well, I guess did it work is, I guess, the better way to say it, because, you know, it could not work, be stupid, and not get you killed, and then it'll, you know, be stupid. Alright, I've taken a little break from that to just go through my silly thoughts. This is one of the later games, dude. There's no, like, added it on the later games. This is one of the later games. This is the later game. Shot. Okay. I love having the slow there. I love having slow on this one. I feel like slow works really well in there. Alright. And we'll have pause be... Yeah, okay. Fine. We'll basically just set it back to where it was. Probably confusing a conversation we had during Touhou 4. Yes! Did you know we've been going through this a while? Did you know we've been going through this a while and we just keep not making progress? And it's exactly the same sort of not progress that we made last time? Oh, that's part of why I'm doing worse. I don't have my music on. I can't hear the music. Can you guys at least hear the music? There we go. Hold on. I know how to make this a better experience. Excuse me a second, chat. I have the best idea. There we go. This will probably be fun, right? Hey, chat. You like boom boxes? You like boom boxes that have taken around a 7.62 by 39? Can you hear me, chat? Hey, chat, isn't this great? Hey, I've got music back here now. Oh shit, I almost tried to record over it. I almost tried to record over my radio. Oh no. Well, not radio, I have a cassette tape in there. Ignore whatever you may have thought you heard. There was nothing there. There was a hole here. It's gone now. Well, if it works... Yeah, it works. It got shot a few times, but it still works. Speaking of still works, let's see if my ability to play the game still works. Like, I cannot get over how much more responsive this feels, but how much better the N64 one feels. That solves the issue of OBS going schizo in the audio mix. What, I just put a boombox behind me? And we just put royalty-free music on the boombox? I take the AI music that we generated. I shove it onto cassette tapes. I then take the cassette tapes and I play them on the boombox. Literally behind me. I adjust volume so that you guys can hear it, but it's not overpowering my voice. We'll do live in-room mixing. It'll be great. I'll hire a small Argentinian man to work behind me with the mixing table, live mixing my shows. It'll be great. Put the game audio on the boombox, have the microphone be the only input. That would be such a dumb idea. I'm on board. I'm on board. We need to do that shit. But yeah, see, when these things go in front of me, that's me hitting the slow button. See? The older games, this is the first one with the slow button, I think, or is it? No, it's not the first one. There's another one that has a slow button, but this is like one of the first ones that's got the actual like slow ride. There's something this one has that the other ones don't. I can't remember what it is. Hey, do you guys remember the Alice theme? I remember the Alice theme. Here in Alice's restaurant. I walk right in, it's around the back, about a quarter mile down the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Excluding Alice. I miss Alice, chat. When do we get Alice back? When do we get Alice back? Maybe it's time we revisit Touhou 4. What, so I can cry at Touhou 4 and how bad I am at that one too? We won't be able to use the controller on that one. Because that one doesn't let you do bindings for the joystick. I don't think. You want to get Alice's theme back in your head for like 12 hours of play? We can always go back. But Alice won't be waiting there for us. Why am I having so much more trouble on this one than I ever had on the other ones? Thinking about it, I don't really understand what changed that made this so much more of a trouble than the other ones. There's gotta be something, right? Because, like, we had trouble on the other ones, but we never had this much trouble. We never had 18 months of trouble. Specific patchy that pattern and patchy that fucks you up. You think it's I don't know if it's just patchy. I don't know if it's just patchy, because, like, we also have trouble sometimes even getting to patchy, right? And, like, even after we get past patchy, there's, like, some patterns later on after that fuck me up really hard, too. That's why I'm getting confused, right? Like, when I sit here and I think about a lot of this stuff, I'm like, there's gotta be something I'm doing wrong, right? Okay, I hit the button with plenty of time to spare, and it didn't react in time. Hold on a second, chat. We're gonna try something. Is this gonna work? I have no idea. Alright, so I'm gonna grab you. Grab the converter box again. Sure, I don't give a fuck. Hi, can you... Is there no... Did we not spawn pause button? Thank you. Anyway. Let me see here. Is it as simple as switching back to the CRT? Because we haven't been on the CRT in a while. I don't think that'd be enough. I wonder if it's... Is it the response time? Like, what are we looking at here? There's gotta be something, right? There's gotta be something that I'm doing wrong. That has just been getting in the way all of this time. There's gotta be something that I'm missing. What if I turn off my FPS limiter? Then I set the display to... Not the CRT, no. What do you mean? What do you mean, no? What do you mean, not the CRT? You don't like the CRT? You don't like the CRT? I can't believe this. I also can't believe that my resolution has been lowered. Wasn't the issue... Oh, well, the issue was that the CRT was dying, like, horribly. Hold on, chat. Uh-oh. We good? Hi. Excuse me, we're having some minor issues here. I'm trying to get some stuff set up here. Ah! FPS limiter? Wasn't there a thing where higher FPS run the game accelerated? Well, yeah, no, but the game itself is running at 60. And this one's capped at 60 as opposed to the other one. This one's capped at 60. So like we're not really getting anything more from it. You know what I mean? However, boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see if this works. I've made some modifications, chat. Pray that I do not make any further modifications. Theoretically, right? Theoretically. Wow, that looks way more colorful. Huh. So I scaled up the game, and I increased the color variety. So now I have 12 bits of color per pixel. I have increased the color variety. And I have decreased the amount of pixels shown on screen. And I have increased the FPS to decrease the latency. Now this probably won't do anything, but it does make it very bright and colorful and pretty. So, you know, at least there's that. Alright, so what has it done? Absolutely nothing for my skill level. But what has it done beneficial? It looks really pretty, guys. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. It looks so pretty. Chat, it looks so pretty. The colors are so beautiful and bright and vibrant. There we go. There we go. See what we can even do here. Actually, the colors look way too vibrant in a good way. I like that. See what we can do. Slide it through. Would you guys watch it if I, like, started doing N64 streaming, actually? Like, GameCube streaming, N64? Like, if we just, like, went back to doing retro streaming for a bit? Because I was thinking about doing some, like, maybe bringing up Silent Hill 2 again, just because I really like playing that every so often with the PC mod. The mods for PC and whatnot that add in the really, really nice graphics without any of the censorship. Is this not a retro game? What? No, this is like a brand new game, isn't it? This is like a brand new game, isn't it? This is Touhou. Touhou's never retro. Touhou's always in vogue. Brighter colors are a very welcome mental buff. You're damn right they are. Are you kidding me? Pretty colors, beautiful lights. Wonderful little, like, sharpness adjustments. I'm gonna be honest, chat. Is it weird that I would rather a game look bright and colorful instead of having really good graphics? By graphics, I mean resolution. Like, I don't mind if there's a low resolution if the game looks pretty. And I'm also one of those weirdos who, outside of VR, I don't see the point in 4K. Maybe we just need to believe. Don't just believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you. I believe in a beautiful world where all peoples of the chat would gather together in perfect harmony to say we can kick this game's ass. I believe, chat. I believe. Also, at some point I need to get display cables. Display cables. I believe in the Master Chief. No. That's about the right series, because we're playing the Halo thing that hard too. I dream that one day Himawari Kotetsu will beat this game. It's true. One day. One day I will beat this game. It'll be great. It'll be one of the best days ever. We're all gonna sit there and we're gonna go, oh my gosh, Hima, you did it! You're the winner! You're the best! You did the Tetris! In the words of Vine Sauce Joel. You're the winner! You did the Tetris! There we go, there we go. Miss Patchy, tear down that bookshelf. We are going to be going to space and tearing down your walls of your library. Your asthma will not save you this time. Your asthma will not protect you this time. Instead, you will be forced to come face to face with the consequences of your actions. We believe in a firm, fair, and free press, where not all information is hoarded by some purple-haired maid in a dress. No, we believe instead that information should belong to the people. The people of Gensokyo demand answers. Answers to the recent allegations pressed against the Scarlet Devil Manor. The horrors that have befallen Gensokyo in the cold and the dark and the rain. No, I realize it was Reagan. But I've decided that this is Janawari Kotetsu, the people's hero. Because I do not remember what Ronald Reagan sounds like. Didn't he kind of like have that, Didn't he kind of have that, He had a voice. He was an actor. Okay, that did not make me faster on reaction times on bombs. But you know what it did make me? A champion of the people. He just kind of sounded like you. Oh. Well, I guess really at the end of the day, that's kind of a crazy thing, isn't it? You know, the thing about this is, Gorbachev can just kind of take a ride on my knob, because we don't like Gorbachev.
Don't mind ME, you're setting up in aroma across from the grassy knoll.
Aw, that's so lovely! I love it when the Gunthers hang out with me. I've got this Gunther right behind me who's got a submachine gun, and he's got this whole, like, idea for, like, Himawari 99, finally I beat EOSD, time to move on to perfect cherry blossom. My heart! Ugh. No! No! Listen, if I have to be 99 years old by the time I finally beat this, at the very least, I'll have spent 99... that would imply that I was playing this from the time I was 0 years old. At least I will have spent a large part of my life with some of the people who I care for. People who care for me, who are parasocial with me. Remember, it's not parasocial if you both are parasocial for each other. Then it's just social. Yoink. Why does this feel easier now? Did lowering the resolution make it easier? It said less enthusiastically than I was expecting. Oh. Reagan? Not enthusiastic? What the fuck? That's weird. I thought he was, like, always enthusiastic. What the hell? Die! Give me your stuff! Hello, my fellow Americans. I have decided to come back to run for president again after being shot by the snipers, hired by George Bush Sr., the baby eater, in order to try and take away this beautiful nation from its rightful people, the Irish. Yoink. As we all well know, America belongs to the Irish. The Irish Mafia #1. Don't worry. The only people who are going to be eating babies here are going to be Irish baby eaters, not the other baby eaters. Turns out he did the speak calmly and matter-of-factly thing. Oh, so he is just me. As we all know, I'm the king of being calm and collected. As we all know very well, I am a champion when it comes to speaking calmly, collectedly, and concisely. Shit. Whoa! The bombs look so much better with this setting. Holy shit. Everything looks so much more beautiful. Have I been playing with, like... I've been playing with 8-bit color depth for so long, chat. Now, I'd like to have a conversation with you about your recent discoveries within the Middle East. Yeah, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the president of every country on Earth. Actually, I'm half expecting Argentina to come knocking on my door any day and just say, hey, Himbus Wimbus Cotimbus, you have claim to a royal throne. Would you like to join us by being our leader? And then I'll go, yes, yes I will. However, I have a set of demands. Demand number 1. We're gonna try and, like, fix a few things here. Specifically, we're going to fix it by conquering the other countries in South and Central America. We're literally going to declare war on the rest of South and Central America. Well, I mean, the Argentinian monarchist movement should just be a German monarchist movement. It'll be fine. Listen, we just put me in charge, and I'll be the next Bismarck. I'll even show up to combat in a pickle hub. I'll show up to meetings of government wearing a pickle hub and a big breastplate with a bunch of medals pinned on it. Medals for 2 years service as a monarch, 3 years service as a monarch, etc., etc., etc. Most money saved as a monarch. You know, like wonderful accolades like that. This looks so much more gorgeous now. Holy shit. Chat, why have I been playing on such a low color resolution? I feel like, not that I'm seeing colors for the first time, but I feel like I'm seeing the full range of colors for the first time. Himawari Kotetsu, look out! It's Lee Patchouli Oswald! No! I was too late. He's gone. Medals for 1cc Touhou 1, 1cc Touhou 2. We're gonna start making those medals. We're actually gonna start making medals for people who beat Touhou on 1cc. There's gonna be a lot of those medals handed out, but they're gonna actually be a medal. It's gonna be great. I'm telling you, it's a good idea, chat. It's a good idea. We start, like, rewarding people for being good at video games. We're just gonna start awarding people for being good at video games with physical, real-world medals. It's gonna be great. Mr. President, what are those medals for? Put Colonel Plushie on the table, start explaining the tale of Zun. Zun is a hero in this country, damn it. Pro-German bullet hell players and diplomat. Touhou's mark. Yeah, we're gonna launch the Touhou's mark. We're gonna wait until the next anniversary of the launch of the Bismarck, and we're gonna launch Bismarck 2, Bismarck Harder. Bismarcky Mark and the Funky Bunch! Oh, I love it! Bismarcky Mark and the Funky Bunch, my favorite! Would it be better than the CIB? Ooh, these are the questions we have to ask. These are the questions we have to ask. Like, listen, we're gonna make it so that beating Touhou on various difficulties gets you better job opportunities. Everyone who's able to successfully beat a Touhou game on Lunatic difficulty will get a medal corresponding to how difficult our investigative team decides that Touhou game was to beat on 1cc Lunatic. And whoever has the world record will be given a medal that marks the day of their accomplishment, but you'll have to have a government representative who is in attendance for your beating of the world record. World War II era naval warfare was truly bullet hell. You just had to dodge the bullets. We could do that again today, chat. If we make our planes fast enough, we can dodge the bullets. If we make them fast enough, we'll dodge the bullets, all right? We just have to make boats that are faster than the missiles, all right? Or we have to get anti-missile drones that we saturation bombard the enemy. Oh wait, those things are really, really fucking expensive. Hold on, hold on, hold on. We need some anti-patchy missiles right about now. I could really use some anti-patchy missiles. Whoa! Shit. Oh, it's like little snowfalls. Oh, that's adorable. It was like a guy in an F-18 Operation Firestorm, ran out of flares, dodged like 5 surface air missiles. We just need to train everybody to do that. We just need to train everybody to do that, all right? There we go. I did it. I deployed my flares at the last possible minute. Fuck it. Fuck it. What? Why are you not dropping? Why are you not dropping? Shit. I didn't realize I didn't have bombs anymore. You know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna use these. There we go. My favorite Toho live-action movie, Top Gun Maverick. Okay, I'm telling you, more people would watch Top Gun Maverick if it starred the Toho girls. She ran out of spells, chat. She ran out of spells, chat. I'm just saying, like, we need to start giving people medals. Shit. Okay. No, I got a problem here. The problem is trying to remember these patterns. I really don't like the patterns on this level. This is when the video... I've been told this is when the game actually starts to get hard, which would explain a lot, right? I've been told the game starts to get hard on this level for the first time. I feel like more people would watch all movies if they were anime girls. I agree. I'd certainly watch more movies if there were anime girls. What do you mean? What do you mean that didn't fucking work? Alright, you know what? No. 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 You know what? No. 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 You go away, miss. You go away, miss. Thank you. Alright, hold on. I can almost see what's happening right now. Shit. I was trying to hit the bomb button. Didn't work. This is not fun. This is not fun. This is not fun. I don't enjoy this. Like Full Metal Jacket with anime girls? I would watch that. I'd watch that, yeah. You know, chat, I've got a feeling we're not gonna beat this. Hi! Hello, Sakuya. How are you? I'm so glad to die. Oh, fucking hell. Uh-huh. Alright, I'm out of bombs now. We're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. God be with me. God, have pity on this fool. Oh, this is gonna suck. Hi. You know? Did better. The legally distinct Middle Eastern rogue nation nuclear program incident. That'd be great. That'd be great. I'd watch that. I'd watch that. Well, we made it to her. And we got top score. Chat, we got top score. We got the best score we've ever had. Hello, Tor! You came just in time for me to get a high score. High score. High score. Very good high score. I am scared. I am scared. Scared at video game. Oh, baby. Ooh, baby. So yeah, I'm gonna be the first VTuber president. It's gonna be great. I'm going to show up as a VTuber to all of my meetings. No one will ever see what I look like. I will just show up as a VTuber to debates. Oh, you lost. Yeah, but I was doing really good for a bit there. I was doing really, really good for a bit there. God chose to have mercy on me. Hello. Yes, we did reach further than ever. Well, yeah, no, that's why we got the high score. Like a mini-series in the Pacific. Second Battle of Fallujah with the anime girls. Alright, so we're going to take all of World War II, and we're going to recreate it just with anime girls. It's going to be an anime mecha. It's going to be a mecha anime with cute anime girls, and it's going to go through all of World War II. As it actually happened. And then we're going to get canceled. We're going to get canceled. And we're going to get canceled. It's going to be great. Because nobody wants to know how World War II actually happened. Because the truth is, space aliens, lizards, demons. How's my second favorite Brazilian doing? Holy shit. Do you hear that, Clanker? You've been upgraded. You've been upgraded. You've been upgraded! You're the reason why Brazil isn't going to be killed by Pippa. The IRS! The ATF! Anime girls clearing Fallujah with M16A4s. I'm on board. Shit. I'm on board. The fuck you mean second? I could say something really offensive right now, and I'm really tempted to because it would be kind of funny. It would be really funny. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Shrink, shrink. Excuse me. I'm here for my cheese. I'm here to cheese, Grommet. Cheese. You, considering what Pippa wrote in her death note, and that I am the only Brazilian who doesn't care about football, yes, I would be the last Brazilian left after Pippa's done with the place. You will save Brazil. You will save Brazil. Clanker, you'll be the last Brazilian. And we will set you up with 100 Portuguese wives to repopulate Brazil. You will have to, it's unfortunate, but you'll have to be married to 100 women and repopulate Brazil single-handedly. Sorry, man. You're gonna be very busy the next rest of your life. No free time. Sorry, man. Actually, if we get rid of all of Brazil, we can just give it to Argentina and have it be Argentina again. The Falklands War with anime girls? I would watch that. I'd watch the shit out of that. Hima, don't give me hope. I'm going to give you hope. I'm going to give you more hope than I have for this run. All right? We can find some big titty goth mamas, Clanker. I think you'll manage. By the way, I've been writing my book more. You know that light novel series that I've been working on? I've been working on it more. A very little amount. I haven't been working on it nearly as much as I want to. But every time I have a really good idea, like I wake up in a cold sweat and I'm like, this is a good idea, I'll write it down, and then I'll just add that in. So the progress has slowed down immensely as I'm, like, expanding things out. I wrote an entire, like, outline of a story, right? And now I'm expanding it with filler. And by filler, I don't mean filler. But filler's the best word I can think about it, because I'm fillering out the story to give more, like, context to the events, because I figure if I start and I make an entire beginning, middle, and end, right? I have a solid beginning, middle, and end. I can figure out better how I get between those points, and I can do some cool set pieces at A, B, C, and D, like all along there, up and down the story. Then I can expand it out to like 3 volumes of just one easy, simple beginning, middle, and end story, just by adding more and more context to it. And then we can fill it out to like 50,000 words, 100,000 words, 200,000 words. It'll be great. Operation Nimrod, the Iranian embassy seizure, 1980. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on, chat. Excuse me, chat. Hold on. Where's my volume here? Excuse me. Configuration. Mixer. Alright, boys. We're gonna bring up the mixer real quick. Alright, the mixer's up. I'm gonna turn down the volume real quick. Hello, Oncey! Welcome to TOHousday! How are you doing, TOHousday? I hope you're having a good today. Excuse me, hold on. Control A. Where is it? Hold on. Where are you? Oh. There we go.
The 6th day of the siege, and the situation inside the...
History feels. London calling, but you're in the SAS raiding the Iranian embassy.
The time for a decision on storming the embassy had come.
Let's go, boys!
And the SAS team were moving to their position.
We're said SAS team. It's fine.
And planted their grenades.
It's fine. Can we handle it? Just sneak it, sneak it.
The frame of grenades put in place by the SAS men did their work.
Can we handle it? Can we handle it?
The SAS men went in. Hostile neutralized.
Why do you always have weird conversations only for Oncey to join? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. Touhou Wednesday? Touhou Wednesday's like Touhou Tuesday. It's all secretly Touhou. Keep going! Sneak it! Be sneaky! Yes! We kicked down the front door of Patchy's embassy! Let's go! We gotta break into Gensokyo's embassy.
At the window, waving his hand. This was a signal that he'd isolated the leader of the terrorists. And the shots you hear now are the shots that killed the leader.
Choo 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 choo.
There's something about hearing the gunshots while I'm firing these little, like, laser bloops. It makes me happy. Again, make sure you check out the wonderful channel, History Feels. This is not a replacement for his content. Go out there, have fun. Boom, boom, boom! Boom, boom, boom! It's also not a replacement for the content of London Calling.
This flag was to appear 3 times, and on each occasion, the shooting continued. At the rear of the building, marked all the exits. And at the front,
We're going to hunt down the terrorist leader, Cherno!
ordered to jump over the balcony.
Come on!
Next door.
We're gonna bring in Cherno! Go, go, go! Go, go! Go, go! Open fire! There's so many of them! Sneaky, 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 sneaky. This is the secret story of Touhou you've never seen before. What, can you guys not hear the music? Is that it? Or are you saying something else? With your
They walked upright, almost unhurriedly.
Because if only I can hear it, I'm fine with it.
Beginning to get a grip on the building.
Maybe COD 4 with anime girls. I'd play the COD trilogy. I'd play the trilogy of Modern Warfare games with anime girls. I'd like that. You're a box full of surprises, aren't you? I'm also a box full of psychosis. It's one of the best things about me.
The terrorists all but one were dead. The siege of the Iranian embassy at 16 Prince's Gate in the heart of it.
Come on, it's about to be over. We gotta finish the siege. Come on, Cherno! We're taking you out of this embassy! You're going back! Come on! We can take her down, chat. We can take her down. We can take her down. Cherno is not going to run this place. We do not bow down to the demands of terrorists, even if that demand is frozen frogs. We will not accept her demands to be able to freeze frogs whenever she wants to. We will not accept her demands of injustice. Instead, we will stand, we will fight, and we will laugh. We will laugh at her attempts. Come on, Cherno! I've spell carded you multiple times now! Come on, come on, come on, come on. I need to take you down. For the SAS! Let's go! Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We did it! We did it, chat. We took down Osama bin Cherno. We took down Osama bin Cherno. Cherno is dead. I'd like to apologize to all of you fans of Cherno. All of you fans of Cherno. I would like to apologize. I would like to, but I'm not about to, because I'm too cool for that. Ah! I dropped my pocket square, chat! My pocket square fell out. Hold on. There it is. Alright, let's bring back the music. There we go. I'm not the one with the Cherno Fumo. Clipped? Which bit's clipped? Which bit clipped? Okay, I've got a question here. What button? What button is pause? What button's pausing? Because, like, occasionally we're just randomly pausing, and I don't know why. Okay. That's on me. This is why we don't try to do too much grazing. I wonder if they can do a second pass as they go down. Sneak it through. Hear me out, though. We get a bunch of anime girls together, right? We get a bunch of anime girls together. And we create a series of, like, history shorts. Right? And we tell the true stories of history from the people who survived them. So, like, we create historical events, and then we retell them after we've created them, using anime girls. Meemaw and Yori's live, you want something in the background? If I could figure out how to pause, I would definitely go for that. You kidding me? Sounds amazing. Thank you for that, life. The idea of Osama bin Cherno is now in my head. Shit. There we go. Let's see what we can handle here. Hello there, Hong Mei Ling. How are you doing today? I'm going to stab you with bullets. Do you like the idea of being stabbed with bullets? I know you don't. Shit. Jet coolant can't freeze steel beams? Listen, there's no way that Cherno was able to freeze those beams. There's no way she was able to sneak into Building 7, steal all of the gold that was held within, destroy all of the documents related to Flandre's stealing of finances from the United States, and also destroy the records while replacing a bunch of gold with lead. There's no way she was able to do all of that and freeze the beams with just a little bit of her ice fairy magic. What the hell, right? All right, chat. We're gonna rebind the escape key, chat. We're gonna actually rebind the escape key. Hold on. Can I? Okay, there we go. We're gonna actually bind the escape key here. That'll be nice. Excuse me. Chino's calling from the underground. Chino's calling from the underground. Key config. Pause. So that is the button. What? And that's shoot. And that's slow, right? Oh, what? That's slow, and that's bomb. Yeah. Okay. What? What? Was ist los? Was? Oh wait, I can watch that in the background now. Chat. I can watch that in the background. How do we go down to one person? What? No, it's fine. No, it's fine. People just didn't want to see it. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna cry a little bit. I'm gonna cry a lot of it. I'm gonna cry so much. I'm gonna cry. I'm sobbing right now. What is this? Hold on. Do 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 do. Do I have to deal with something right now? Hold on. Excuse me, there might be something I need to do. It's so adorable. Yeah, I might have to deal with some bullshit, chat. I may have to deal with some bullshit. Man! It's only been 2 hours, though. I had my anger at the start, yeah, but it's not been that long. Chat, I may have to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go, but I might have to go. You ever have that feeling, chat? I have that feeling sometimes. Makes me sad. Forgot it was red envelope, chat. Wait, you actually got your red envelope? Hold on. I hope you're having a fine day. As for me, I had a good Lunar New Year day yesterday. Got a reasonable amount of money too. You actually got your red envelope? Hooray! Hooray! The movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood and anime girls. Oh, we're leaving Clint Eastwood in there? We're just also adding in a bunch of anime girls? We're adding in the girls against Sokyo? Chat, as much as I want to keep going, and it's only been 2 hours, I may have to go deal with some stuff. Like I said, I've been having to take care of some family and whatnot. I would never say that it's unfortunate that I have family that I can take care of. But man, it's been unfortunate not having as much time as I would like to do streaming and whatnot. It was good to catch up anyway. I always enjoy having these little catch-up moments. It's really nice. I will say before we go, man, I've been getting confused. So did you know we've got, like, okay, one of my buddies said it might be somebody's doing, like, botting, right? On YouTube, we have had streams where I have had 200 concurrent viewers, 5 concurrent viewers, 300 concurrent viewers, 10 concurrent viewers. One of those streams was almost 1,000 concurrent viewers randomly before going back down to nothing later. And I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I also don't know how to plan for that. Because, like, we'll hit a stride where we'll hit a stride where it's like, okay, cool, we got good turnout. And I always prefer having people hanging out, right? Like, me and you guys just hanging out and chatting is always going to mean more to me. Always going to mean more to me than all of the fucking viewers on Earth, right? Like, even if it's just, like, a handful of us hanging out and actually chatting, if we're talking, if we're having a good time, that's going to be worth more to me, right? As silly as it sounds, right? And I don't say this to demean people, but you know what? I'm going to say it anyway. I will always hold more personal value in chatters than in lurkers, but I will be happy to have lurkers along, right? You just been weird with numbers sometimes. Other streamers have reported something similar, maybe not up to like 1,000 though. Well, it's like, you'll have like just a random stream, and it's like, I think it might just be, because what one of the people said on the karaoke stream, right? I'm covering this before I have to go, I've got a little bit of time. I was covering this on the other stream. So you know how we did the karaoke stream, right? There were multiple people who were not subscribers, who were not regular watchers, who said, this is a weird thing for me to wake up to. And I found out that apparently YouTube has been sending people who are asleep automatically into my channel. So we'll have some of these times, and it's almost like for some reason it decides that the content I'm making would be something that people would want to watch while they're sleeping, and I'll just accidentally wake people up who somehow fell asleep watching a stream or something, and then just got carried on automatically to the next stream and the next stream and the next stream. And I'm wondering if that's not part of it, right? Like they're YouTube, yeah, they're out their autoplay thing. I'm wondering if people are getting autoplayed into my stuff, and that's why we'll have these spikes, but we won't have spikes in the chatters. Because there would be no reason for somebody to bot my channel, right? Well, minimal reason. Not like botting really helps that much. Well, it does enough that's why, like, I think they were saying, like, the majority of kick streamers are botting now or something like that. ASMR Awari. That's basically kind of what's happening sometimes. I don't know. I do something like the just chatting stuff as well, so I could see somebody getting into, like, one of the, like, just talking to people things, and then watching that while they're asleep, and then it ends, and we go to the next thing. That's funny. You're streaming at 2 a.m. has convinced YouTube you're an ASMR channel? I could see it. Hey, Horace, we're getting ready to just sort of wrap things up here, because I have to deal with some family stuff and whatnot. I might be back later, I might not, but we're here as often as we can. If the algo's pushing you, that's a good thing. Yeah. It is, and like we'll occasionally get like 1 or 2 people who stick around. I do have to say though, it's genuinely really nice that even when I'm doing like the Touhou stuff over and over again, you guys are still always willing to like show up, hang out, and have fun. Cause it means a lot to me to have people who are regulars. It really does, right? Let's have a moment of sappiness here since we're ending, and I don't really care as much right now. I'm a lonely guy. I have been for a long time. And I'm somebody who has isolated himself in a lot of ways from the outside world and from a lot of things just due to getting hurt over and over again. And to be able to go live here and to have anybody show up is one of the best blessings God has ever offered me, in terms of being able to just give me that sort of comfort, give that kind of relaxation, that kind of just genuine comfort, right? It is so beautiful beyond words to have you guys show up at all, right? And I feel bad even thanking you guys for this, because I know there's the age-old adage, no one on the internet cares what your problems are, and if you tell them your problems, they're going to either laugh at them or make them worse. And that's why I've been so hesitant lately to talk about like any of the issues and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that's been very rough. There's a lot of stress that's going on, and I have had a hard time dealing with it, a hard time handling it, a hard time taking it. But I still keep going. And you guys make that a bit easier. And I'd like to thank you guys for being good supporters of the channel, for being just... And again, it's never about the fucking money, right? It's not about the money. It's not about the numbers. I will bring up the numbers on occasion, but it's because I worm about it, right? And I want you guys to have, like, the best options here you can. I want this stuff to work out. I want this stuff to be something that we can look back on and be happy for the ride, even when the content's not always the best, right? I understand that I am not always the most entertaining streamer in the world, but I do my best for you guys, and I appreciate that there are folks out there who see that, genuinely. And no matter how rough things get, and things are going to get rougher and rougher and rougher here in the next few months, not just for me, but for a lot of people, right? And there are a lot of things that are going to change, and not all of them are going to change for the better, but I want you to know that we can make it through whatever's coming up. We can stand firm, and we can say no when need to be. We can say hell no when need be. And we can say okay when we gotta, you know? There's a time for peace, a time for war, a time for activity, and a time for quiet. I've spent a lot of time lately reading my Bible. And one of the books that I keep going back to is Job. And I think the biggest, most important thing for all of this, like whether we're talking about the Touhou stuff here, right? Because, again, there's a lot of people who would have given up by this point. We're over a year and a half into this, right? We're a year and a half into this game, and we're not making much progress, right? But even in spite of that, we keep going. And that's not just sunk cost fallacy. Although, one could be forgiven for thinking such, you know. I know there's been times when I've felt that way. But I think deep down inside, it's kind of one of those push forwards that I think we all need in our lives. We need that thing that keeps us reminding that we have a goal and we can push towards it. Today we made further than we ever did before. In just a short period of time there, we changed a little bit here and there. And I do think that when we look towards what we're doing, when we look towards where we're going, we can be confused. We can be scared. We can be angry. We can be sad. We can sit there and panic because we're not making progress. We can worry that things are getting worse all around us. Or we can stand up. We can look forward. And we can live, you know? And it's something. Book of Job 42. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that thou canst do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from thee. Who is he that hideth the counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understood not. Things too wonderful for me which I knew not. Here I beseech thee, and I will speak. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. I have heard of thee by the hearing of my ear, but now mine eyes seeth thee. Wherefore I abhor myself, and repent in dust and ashes. And you may not see how the struggle affects you outside of the negative. You may not see how that slamming your head against a brick wall could build anything beneficial. And Touhou on its own isn't going to build anything beneficial. Playing the same game on its own for 18 months or more on its own does nothing. But having a dedication where you can be able to sit there and say, I've done something, I've held to something, even if you don't always make it every single week. Whether we're talking about the streamer or the stream watcher. And I have not made it every week. Touhou Tuesday with Hime has become a staple, something that usually happens every week, something that yields a sense of continuity. Well, it's not just that you're slamming your head into the wall so that when it stops it feels good. It's that you're able to sit there and say, this thing that was impossible, this thing that I kept slamming my head into the wall, this thing that I couldn't handle, this thing that maybe it was stupid, maybe it gave me no benefit at all, maybe it did nothing for me. You can still sit there and you can say, by the end of it, I did it. if you stuck with it and you actually did come out the other side, and every time you'll note, even when we lose progress, we still have these high water marks. We still have these moments that we can cling back to, and even if we never hit them again, we hit them once. We were able to go further. And every time we set a new high water mark, every time we set a new moment where we're able to step up and we're able to say that, hey, we went further than we did before. Every time we're able to stand up and cross into no man's land and cross a little bit further, even if we have to fall back, we at least hopped up onto the fucking line. No matter how bad it gets, if we just keep getting back up, we might not win, but we haven't lost yet. There were a lot of samurai after the end of the reunification of Japan that still kept fighting until the day that they died. There were those that killed themselves rather than be captured, but there were also those that continued to fight. And fight, and fight, and fight. And it didn't matter who told them their cause was hopeless. It didn't matter how much of a failure their cause might have been to everyone else around them. They lived on their feet, they died on their feet, and they chose to be something that even if the rest of the world didn't understand, by the time they finally fell down and they couldn't get back up, the world could look at it and they could say, hey, we respect that. And Touhou's not some grand samurai war. It's not some good trench run. It's not the saving of the Western world, but it's a little thing. It's such a small, little thing. And streaming is such a small little thing that you can get up and you can just do. And you can just be, for a moment, even for a moment, you can be working on something that it doesn't matter whether YouTube bans you, Twitch bans you, if you lose everywhere and everything, it doesn't matter if no one sees it. If you keep working on it, you'll improve yourself along the way. And I think there's more of us who need to step up and just say, I am here to improve me. And I am here to provide for the folks out there what I can. And each and every time I try to provide a bit more, I try to do a bit more, I try to be a bit more, I'm going to be a bit more than I was yesterday. And I know that's sentimental crap, but maybe I'm just a sentimental guy. Maybe I've always been. Life's not easy. Life has never been easy. And sometimes that's exactly why you gotta keep going. I can drop down to normal mode, I could move on to the next game, I can give up, give out, and move on. And I've done that with other shit before. And maybe someday I'll do that here, but right here, right now, I'm not giving up, and I don't think other people should either. Life is too cruel not to have hope. Foolhardy, stupid hope half the time, but hope, you know? Doesn't matter how big the odds are. Thank you guys for spending some time here. And I know it's not like feel good, uplifty, happy, healthy, fun, bouncy bounce time. It's not the kind of stuff that's gonna get viewers, it's not the kind of stuff that's gonna propel a career, but this is something I feel it needs said. Or needs heard. And it's something I feel is important. It's not always something that matters. And it doesn't have to, you know. Yeah. It's only the last HP that counts, you know? No matter how many times you get knocked down. No matter how hopeless something is. You keep going. Yeah. Hey, Ming. We're wrapping stuff up. And I appreciate you showing up here for the end. And I hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. And even if I never know most of you, even if I never know half of you, it is an honor and a pleasure to have seen you, to have heard you, to have read you, to have interacted with you, even for a moment. May God watch over you. May God bless you. And may you live your life without surrender.